Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It's me, Kimberlie Wright. Thanks and welcome Thanks for joining Hand-Built Pottery. Today is Friday, September the 3rd, 2021. Time is just moving forward. So let's just be appreciative of every second, every moment. So first, I just want to go through what are the holidays and events for today. Today is College Colors Day. So if you went to college, if you attended college, go ahead and wear your college colors for today. National Lazy Moms Day. This is the day you can be lazy as a mom, or choose any day you like, because for all the hard work you've been doing, even just having those children. All right, and National Skyscraper Day. National Skyscraper Day. All right. So if you want to check out any of those things, or sometimes when you have those holidays and events, those could give you ideas of some things to possibly make. All right. So, today we were continuing our lesson on the canvas clay art and pieces. And last week I did 2 pieces that were abstract. I'm going to show you those today. And if you have anything to show or share what you've been working on, please feel free. I have had a few people come and drop off pieces that they've made for the clay canvas pieces, which are really beautiful. Thank you for that. And if anybody else wants to drop anything off or pick something up for the clay schedule, that will be next Tuesday. We are closed Monday for Labor Day. Also, we did not have class yesterday. I was out of the office, and we will not be having class next week, September the 9th on Thursday. Class will be canceled, but I would like for you to attend our celebration of Grandparents' Day. Also, during that time, if you have photos or pictures, if you are attending the Grandparents' Day celebration at 10 a.m., it's going to be on Buffy's link. Then we are asking you, if you would like to participate, to have a photo of you as a grandparent with your grandchildren, your grandmother, a picture of your grandmother alone, or grandfather, your grandparents, or pictures, or a picture of you with your grandparents. Something like that to show and share while we're having our virtual event. So that's going to be Thursday, 10 a.m. Next week. So we will not be having class next Thursday. All right. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and I'm going to kind of like paint a little bit for the remainder of our class on all of these pieces, just a little bit as far as I can. And the first thing I want to do, let me get my camera together, is I'm basically going to get me something to prop. I found this cushion to prop this piece up so you all can see. I just painted a light coat of blue on my outline here. However, the way that the blue is dark in some areas, I want to go ahead and touch that up. And I also just painted this vine in the water. This is going to be the piece for the seahorses. So right now, the way some of this blue is jagged on the edge, I'm going to just go ahead and fix that up really quick. And then we're going to move forward. So this doesn't take that much paint. I just used blue and I've watered it down a lot so that whatever I'm painting right here on the sides, you can still see my water waves through it, beneath it, or through it. Okay, so this needs to come out a bit. And you know, as far as your paintings that you are completing for your canvas pieces, once again, the piece that you're making with your clay is your most important piece as it pertains to standing out, being the subject. So you can make your artwork as it pertains to the canvas really abstract. And so I just wanted to do that little portion of this piece so I can move on. And we're going to go back and forth and skip, like I was saying. Okay, I think that's perfect. I'll see how it looks when it dries. And what I'm gonna do is clean my brush, move this to the side. I'm gonna get I'll go ahead and paint just a little bit more on that. So besides this particular plant here, I'm gonna have a lot of leaves coming off of it, but I'm gonna have a few tube worms right there. So what I'm gonna get is a little bit of chrome orange. And I'm going to get some fluorescent orange. Fluorescent colors look really good underwater. And to mix with that chrome orange, I want to use this burnt umber for the inside holes of the tube worm. So just gonna mix that up a bit. Paint those really quickly. That brown need a little bit of moisture with it, water, it's a bit thick. And so here we go. So for the inside of these two holes, I left a little bit of white so I could see exactly where I had painted before. And so this is the inside hole of the tube worms. And so I finally finished a lot of those projects that we were doing before. And I'm gonna have a show and share next week to show those pieces since they're finished. So when you are painting underwater things, you can actually be creative and make up creatures and plants and that type of thing. There's so much underwater that we don't see. However, as it pertains to your own art, you can look up plants and sea life, that type of thing, to get it correct, or you can just kind of make up your own fantastical world, especially since it's art. Okay, I may put in a couple of more right there, but however, I'm gonna go ahead and just put those 3 to see how they look. And then if I need more after that, I will. That's gonna take a line around it. I'm doing that with the chrome orange. The line around the hole of the tube worm. Another thing, go around the last one, and then I'm going to use the bright fluorescent orange to actually make the tube. After I paint these tubes, I'm going to go straight into my painting of the mountain scene for the ram. All right, so that's looking pretty good, and I'm going to go ahead and paint fluorescent orange tubes. Once this dries, I may need another coat of the fluorescent orange because it's a bit light, and I already have water painted beneath it and sand. However, sometimes being that everything is already in the water, it's really good sometimes to be able to see through things. So we'll see how that comes out. A little blue mixed right there, so I'm just gonna skip over that. Keep going and stop my tube right there at the top of the sand. Going on over here. Adding a tube. So, I mean, I haven't painted like this. A lot of times I'll be painting portraits and everything. I haven't painted like this in a while, freestyling, but it's really rewarding, really satisfying, really relaxing and fun. Just take your time and have fun. If you make a mistake, you can wipe it off, clean it off, or paint over it. All right. So I may put a couple of small tubes back there, but for now I'm gonna give that a little bit of time to dry and add more on. And don't forget, I don't need that much behind there. Before I go on, I'm going to clean my brushes. Don't leave your brushes sitting in the water because you'll mess up the brush bristles. Just clean them out and sit them on a piece of paper towel or something to the side. Always make sure your water is clean. I'm gonna go ahead and use this green that I have to go ahead and quickly make some the stems from this tree here. And I turned the canvas upside down so I'm able to manipulate and lay my arm down instead of over the wet paint. So just gonna go up the branch, making some branch lines. I actually need to turn it around because I'm feeling like not proper. I need to come down instead of go up. That's much better. So I already did the branch like a darker green, and I'm doing my actual stems for the leaves. in a lighter green. I try to lift my hand up and make the skinniest lines as possible. When you press down, you're gonna get thicker lines. When you lift your hand up, you're gonna get skinnier lines. That was a little bit thick for my taste. So I'm gonna come back to that. But as you can see, I've started painting the seahorse here. And you know, the colors are gonna be totally different from what you see. And that's gonna be sitting there. So I just have to continue painting my branches. And I'm just gonna let that dry a bit and quickly go to my mountain scene, just so you can get a gist of what I'm gonna do there. First thing I'm gonna do is get some blue paint. This shade of blue is called Cool Blue. And I'm gonna use a bit of this color called Seaway. All right, I think that should be enough how much I need for the sky, what I have. And I already have a few clouds in the background. So just to make sure my clouds are really milky and blended in with the actual paint, I could leave the canvas white, but to get it blended in really well, I'm gonna actually use paint. So I'm just gonna start, believe it or not, I'm gonna just start to use the lightest blue that I have to go around to make an outline around the clouds that I have, so that I can go ahead and actually paint the entire sky. And it's good to start at the bottom or the top so that you'll have, and start at the top and come down, or start at the bottom and work up, so that you can use your hand to lie it down if you need to. Just quickly going around the clouds. And you don't have to stick completely to the drawing. You can make your lines more wiggly if you want to. While you're painting, you can make something smaller if you like to. So as pertains to the mountain scene with the rams, you can you have to say to yourself, what are you trying to depict? And it's not necessarily winter time, but I think it's leaving fall and going into winter time. And so therefore I want it to look a bit cold. So that's why I'm doing my sky. I've blocked out all the clouds or outlined the clouds. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the mountain. So I want my sky to look cool, very cool, cold, as you can see. So that's going to be a little bit lighter. Even in the summertime, your sky can look really light and bright due to the fact that the sun is shining. Springtime, it just depends on how you actually make the lighting in your piece. All right, so I have a mountain here that I need to enclose, and on this side as well.
So Kim, what clay piece is that for?
This is for the round.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. If you see this space right here, that's why I outlined my, I'll get the piece so I can explain. I outlined the actual clay piece. You can paint over it if you like, but I just actually outlined it. You can see that little line there. It's because so I don't waste paint going into that section. I might go over the line a little bit just to make sure there's no white peeking out, but I don't see any need to paint the part what I'm going to glue down. So I drew an outline where that's gonna fit anyway.
Oh, okay, that's good idea.
Yes,
I was wondering, why waste the paint where you're gonna put the piece on?
Yeah, so I outlined it. That's all I'm saying. And so as I'm painting, I know I won't forget what that space is because I know I'm supposed to have a clay piece here. But anyhow, that's how that's supposed to be. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and take that light blue, the Seaway. I'm dipping in white blue, the light blue, the Seaway, and a little bit of white. And I'm just gonna start to go across and paint my sky. And believe it or not, as I'm going along, I'm painting the edges of the canvas as well. So that the edges can be painted. And I'm not necessarily making sure to use any amount of paint, meaning like if it comes off the brush thick, that's fine. I like a little texture, as long as it looks pretty painted, pretty smooth. So every blue moon, I just take that Seaway and kind of brush stroke it within my light blue or baby blue. So once I've gotten a good coat of that, I take a little dollop of Seaway and just kind of go through, so to speak. And once again, I only needed a little paint because my sky is not that large. It's not that much content. All right, this is the end of it right here. I can smooth up a couple of areas here. Now I'm going to just take the rest of the blue. If I see any light spots, just kind of touch those up. I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to go directly into my white. And then I'm just going to paint the clouds. And if I'm going to pull a little bit of the edges of the clouds from the blue end to just kind of mix the paint a bit. So here I am painting my clouds. All right, once again, that cloud is done. Move that closer so you can see. Sometimes I like to pull cloud out to the side a bit. All right, going over to the other side, the top. Working that cloud in. And I'm gonna do the other two. I'm gonna go straight into the mountain. Not hiking, but painting. Just trying to see if y'all listen. That got a little bit too much blue, so I'm just adding a little bit of white on top of it. All right, now we're gonna come here with this small cloud. One cloud I see I wanna do a little bit of work on. All right, so that's it for our clouds. Now I'm going straight into the mountains. As you can see, these mountains have different sections. All I have to do is I would rather use lighter colors to highlight the top of the mountain where the sun hits, and use darker colors going towards the bottom. So my first color is going to be burnt umber. And I'm going to use a metallic color, which will be copper. So it's kind of weird you don't want to mix too much water with metallic colors. You just have to use a little bit, mix it down to see the consistency of it. Sometimes it can get a little bit clumpy. They have different chemicals in them to give them that sheen and shine and everything. So I just use water, mix mine up until it's smooth as possible. And if it's not thin enough, then I go ahead and mix a little bit more water rather than pouring water in like I usually do some of my other colors, like you see that blue really moving. All right, so I have this copper mixed well. I'm gonna go light brown. I'm gonna go copper right here in the center. And as you can see where my line was for my round, but the mountain is there too. I'm just gonna go over that line a bit so that I don't have white peeking out from the round. All right, so all I have to do is follow my outline of the mountain. Paint that whole section. I'm actually outlining everything first, and then I can just go ahead and paint the center or the inside of that particular block or section. So I just put a glob of paint on the canvas that's a little bit thick. I can work it down with the brush, or I can add a little water right on the canvas like so and mix it up. Just kind of pull it out, so to speak. All right. So I'm going around that portion. And once again, right in this area right here is where the ram's head is. So it doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to go beyond that line a bit to make sure that once I adhere or glue my ram on that piece, that part, it doesn't show. And so just to smooth that out, I want to get a larger brush and just kind of glide it over that area to smooth out that portion of the mountain. I need a wider surface brush to actually get that smoother. All right, that looks really good. Well, it looks good enough to move on. And I'm gonna just take that same color, since I'm using a darker color for the next section, I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that brush right in with that brown. And I'm gonna go right beneath that because that's where the blend is gonna be anyway. So now I wanna take that smaller brush to go ahead and block out that section first. And I'm gonna leave the metallic kind of blended in wherever it blends in on its own. Block out everything first or outline the particular section here. And I'm gonna do 2 more parts of this mountain. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what we did last week, and we'll conclude class from there. So that's my next block. I'm gonna go ahead and just apply that brush on top of the cup because I'm still not finished with the tip, so I don't have to clean that off yet. I'm going into my brown, making sure I don't touch that orange. I still have the metallic on the brush. I'm gonna go ahead towards the bottom first and fill all of that in. And as you can see, each time I use this paint, I'm just about using it up because I'm pretty much measuring or gauging about how much I need. And if you see more paint on the canvas, that means I'm gonna use that paint somewhere else. All right, so I'm brushing a little bit lighter, pulling my hand up so that I can get the brush stroke smooth. Just like so. I need just a little bit more of this brown. Just a touch of love. Just a touch of love, a little bit. All right. So I'm getting that, adding it in that area. And then I'm going to actually wipe my brush off, not wash it. I'm just going to wipe it off so that I can keep the brush moist, but I want to brush it across the line of the metallic and the brown to get me like a blend. All right, so I'm gonna get a piece of paper towel that I can do that and then throw it away so I don't make a mess. So I'm wiping the brush off. Then I'm gonna just go into this gold, but blot it on the paper or copper. Then I'm just gonna kind of lightly, let me throw this paper away first. I'm just gonna lightly brush over the center area of that line to blend it. which is good. All right, so now I want to take my next color. I'm going to clean that brush, which is going to be, I'm going to use a cream at the top, or the opposite side. And I'm just gonna put this cream right here where this metallic was to get a bit of that color to blend in, since it's part of that mountain. And you can see I did not clean my brush. Just getting that mixed all in. And I'm gonna go to this opposite side of the mountain here and outline. And the center is where I'm gonna put the lightest color, where I'm gonna make the light from the sun hit the mountain, right in that center area.
Your paint palette is blocking
Move the
view, Kimmy.
palette, Kim.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, young people. So I'm going to the opposite side. I'm putting a lighter color than the two colors that I've already used. And as you can see, my color scheme is brown. This mountain is pretty much brown, and I'm using different shades. All right, so it took no time to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and get that lighter color, more lighter color than that, even though I'm using actual different colors from like a palette, different actual jars of paint. You can, if you didn't have a lighter color for this color, all you have to do is mix white with it. So some colors you can mix white and black with black to make them darker, just a little bit, and white to make them lighter. So as you can see, I did not clean my brush. I'm going straight into this paint, which is called Sandy Beige. And I'm gonna paint that center portion of the mountain, hoping that some of that other color hits my brush and blends down, which it really is, so that those colors can become a small part of this portion, what I'm painting, to tie it all together. So just keep bringing it down. And I'm gonna stop right here at the next mountain. And so right here, you may not be able to see it, but the line is a little bit jagged right here. Once it dries a little bit, I'm gonna touch it up to get it just a little bit crisp. And before I even wait till it dries, I'm just gonna do it now to see how that works out. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And so for the top side, actually what I'm gonna do is use the same two colors, which is Sandy Beige, and the other color is some type of cream. And I have a color called Caramel. I'm basically gonna mix all three of those.
Looking like wealth from South Dakota, paparazzi on myself.
All right, I'm gonna mix those colors and go to the top. So first I'm gonna do the outline here. Come right up to the top of the mountain. And go to the outline here. And just go ahead and paint. close it in that piece, and then you can paint the center. Once you outline everything, for me, it's easier. And then I can just go ahead and fill in what I need to do. Once again, don't beat yourself up. Your background can be really abstract because you're putting the focus on your clay pieces. So once again, I need my larger brush. And even though it has water on it, as you can see, I'm lightly, gently getting it off so that I can use the colors that were in it previously. Gonna go ahead and just pour a bit on my brush because I don't need to pour it on the palette. I don't need that much. I just want to use that to smooth it out. You know, just because I'm using brush strokes, you might decide to use a technique where you're patting the piece. Now, since the back has not been used, I have paint here, but the back hasn't been used. I'm going to go ahead and use that side to blend in that particular color. Just getting a little bit of that metallic color to mix in as I'm blending it up. Just give it a good blend, so to speak. All right, now for the back, I want to go back into using that darker color. However, I'm just going to take some of this metallic off my brush and mix that towards the back where I saw another small section of the mountain. I could have stood to use my smaller brush due to that area being so small, because I don't want to pick up that sky color like I was just doing. So I switched to my smaller brush. That's a much smaller area. Just quickly go all the way up, and then you can come back and fill in if you need to. All right, so at any time, however that looks, if you decide to go back in and add something, feel free. Once that dries really well, I'll probably go back and put a snow cap on it. So for the line of this particular back, I think it should be a little bit more jagged. So that's what I'm gonna just kind of create now. A little bit of movement going with that edge there. And it's so skinny that I may have to wait till some of that dries. So, all right. So I'm pretty happy with that. Just for that particular section. I'm gonna go ahead and make my next mountain over here. It's gonna be different shades of gray, silver, maybe black and white. And I have the color to go ahead and paint a section of that. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll move on to our next portion. So that paint is a little dry. I don't feel like really bothering with it right now. Gonna go ahead and get this lighter color here. As you can see, I'm adding this color on thick just to get a texture for the mountain. And as you can see, instead of painting this mountain on smooth, I'm kind of just patting it on there. Like so. And even right here, as you can see, young people, I just noticed I don't even have to paint in that section because that's where the ram sits. However, I've added this paint really thick so I can get the texture of that paint to look like a mountain or like terrain, I would say. All right, so if I come closer, you'll be able to see the texture from the paint right there. And I like that texture so well that I'm going to create some of that texture within this copper area. So I'm adding that copper paint there. And I'm gonna do the same thing, pat that in that area. What it is a little thick, so I'm just mixing it right on my canvas. And since it's taking so long to pat that out with that smaller brush, I'm gonna go ahead and use the larger brush. All right, I really like that. I like the texture, it looks really good. It'll look really good once the ram gets on there as well. So I just
Kim,
want
why
to,
did you paint over that again?
because remember I painted it smooth at first.
Okay.
And once I did the texture with the gray, I wanted that same texture, silver, I wanted that same texture with my metallic color. So I'm adding more paint and just to pat it out so it'll be thick and have a texture rather than be smooth. So it can look kind of rocky or like terrain.
Okay.
All right, so as you can see now how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with that back line, and that way painting it smooth, I don't have to touch it that much. And the line will go ahead and get there, get your brushes out of your water. All right, I'm gonna slowly go up that line again. My colors are a little bit mixed here. Okay, that's much better. Just pat that through. Much better. Still need to wait till it dry because my sky color is mixing with it.
Are you gonna put some kind of shadow on that right hand side?
Right here?
Yes.
Probably not. Oh, talking about probably on the edge. Yes, I probably will. Yes, I will. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get the color for that bottom of the mountain. Let's see if I even need it. So you see how much that's gonna, oh, I'm sorry, can't even see. So you see how much that's gonna cover up. So I don't even need to paint the rest of the mountain right there. What I am going to do is I'm going to mix purple. So I have this thing that I always, since I was a child, I always want to have a purple mountain. No matter if I paint anything with mountains, I always have a purple mountain so I can because I love the part of the song that says "Purple Mountains Majesty." I don't know. I just like the way that mountains look in the background when the hue turns like a certain green or purple. I'm gonna actually shake this. And I'm just gonna add the purple here at the top. But I also want to add green at the bottom because I want the mountain to sort of turn a bit green at the bottom. This isn't moving the way I like it to, and I don't want it to really squirt out. So I better be careful. Like that just did. So that's enough. And I want a bit of a lighter color. And when you're doing stuff like this, you have to be mindful that you have so many trees and stuff as well. So many trees down there. So I have to, if you don't know how to paint and use lights, you got to figure out how you're going to manipulate your greens to look different. I'll say right now, just going to pat this out. Actually, I'm going to kind of paint my line first, coming down right there. Then I'm gonna stop about halfway right there because that's why I want to kind of just blend the purple with the green. All right, I'm going to the side, painting the side. I'm just kind of patting the mountain out, making sure I get that purple covered everywhere. And then I'm going to go ahead down into the green and blend that purple with the green, or the greens, because I had two. Go ahead and paint the line here. And my ram starts about right there, but I'm gonna go over the line a bit, come across. I have trees here. I'm painting over my trees a bit, but I know how to paint trees, so I can go back and, you know, put the proper impressions there that need to be there. And then go around this tree here. I'm just keeping some of the outlines of the trees so that I can see where some of them were. And then I'm gonna go into the purple. Kind of just blend all that together. However, I do need just a tad bit of green, which I already have some on my palette, so I'm just gonna use that. And I just need a little bit more purple. And all down here is the valley. So it's gonna be greens, palettes of green pastures, and brown for like desert, because the terrain is like changing. And so that's what I'm going to use for that area. As you can see, I squeezed out a lot of paint. I'm going to just put that to the side. Use it somewhere else. And go ahead and blend those areas out. I don't want to lose my green too much. But just blend the purple with it a bit. So if your paint is separating, it could be that the paint is not mixed up. It could be too much water. But in certain areas right here, I have, my paint is not mixed up and I have too much water. So, which is okay for what I'm doing. I'm just blotting the paint really thick and have it so it can have a texture. Okay, believe it or not, close up, this looks really, really good. And it's the good color that I need to have my trees stand out. I'm just kind of working the blend more in this area right here to the left. And I want a little bit more green right here. So I just picked it up from the palette and kind of added it. Remember, I said I was going to use that purple because wherever it separates on the board, I might need a little bit more. That's exactly what happened. And actually now all that purple is gone. I had a lot of purple, but it's gone. And so far, the lighting is nowhere near. I'm looking on the screen. The purple is way more vibrant to the eye if you are in person. So I don't even know what color you all are seeing, but where I'm at right in front of it, it looks really good. Okay, so since somebody just said make a highlight on that other side, that's what I'm just gonna go ahead and do quickly because I don't want the piece to dry. I want that to be able to blend in with the piece. So I need to do that before it dries. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that.
We can't see the picture.
Sorry. So this side is just too built up with the sky, and I'm gonna have to wait till some of that dries. All right. So far, I'm gonna close up these jars so I don't get beyond myself with being tidy and cleaning up my area, keeping it clean. You know, you have too much stuff open, you're bound to make a mistake turning something over or spilling something like that. All right. And I have one more to close. So let's just put this to the side. All right. So this is my piece for my frog. And these are like lily pads and trees and everything. The frog is going right here. That's why I have this section outlined out. However, I'm just gonna move forward to our other pieces. Last week I created a couple of pieces for our skull. As you can see, I've started to paint this. And so what I did was lightly paint it with a watered down black so that it can get down in all of the cracks. And then I went back with the clean, actually I didn't even use a clean washcloth. I used those disinfecting wipes. And I went back and just rubbed the top so I can get the top that white to try to create a look like so. Yeah, and so pieces that I actually did last week. Let's bring this camera back. pieces that I actually did last week. They are dry, and I wasn't able to hold them up that long because they would have been like really dripping from the actual acrylic pour that helps it to marbleize and everything. So this is the actual piece that I was trying to complete. And so if I have the skull there, what I was saying before is that the white portion of the skull will be down on the bottom of the black, and the top portion will be somewhere at the top. However, I used all that paint on another canvas once I poured everything, because this was actually string pulling, or I actually pulled Mardi Gras beads. And so to pour the paint on top of the beads, I used another canvas, and this is that canvas. And I had said last week I could very well change the background for the skull. I don't know, do y'all like it like this? I guess it doesn't really matter, but this is how the skull.
You can
look.
only really tell if you got the skull up there next
This
to
will
it.
look- Yeah, this will look how that will look. On
Yeah.
that piece.
I like that better than the first. I like this better.
I like
That
this
look
one.
better.
I like that better. Yeah, I
Okay,
like
and
that
then-
better.
And then you
I
all
like that
might
better.
change. You all might change your mind once the piece is completely fired and everything, and you see the color. So you never know. All right. So if you
Yeah.
remember when I first started the acrylic pours, I started with white paint and black paint to paint both of the sides of this one. So I had acrylic pour in each cup, and I had black paint and just white paint. And so after I finished those, it was after class and after the recording, but I still had a bit of black paint with acrylic pour and white paint with acrylic pour in 2 little cups. So instead of wasting it, I just said I was gonna do another acrylic pour, and this is what I did. It was black and white.
Great, I like that. Put a head on that.
It
So
looks like an embryo.
I'll just see how it looks.
Nah, it's too little. The board too little.
That's what I said. You really want to bring out the size of your piece with proportion with the canvas. So the 11 by 14 canvas size is really a good size for this.
Right.
But nonetheless, I just wanted to show you all the finished product of those 2 pieces, and hopefully by next week I'll have a few of the clay pieces finished. And I do have some of your some pieces that you all worked on. I'm really shocked and surprised. And if you haven't worked on one, you still can just try to
Don't be.
be creative with whatever you are designing and have fun, and it'll all come together.
Don't be calling my name.
No, well, you are the person one of the people who finished your actual clay pieces. Kudos to you.
I finished
Thank you.
mine. I need to drop it off. So what time do I need to come Tuesday?
Tuesday classes from 10 to 10:30. So
Okay.
you can come after that and before 2.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions, anything they want to show or share? Anybody?
I can show you my African background. I painted with the beads.
You finished it?
Yeah, wait a minute, I get it.
Okay. Ms. Gwen, you want me to show your pot, or you want to show it yourself?
No, you should. You can show it. I made a piece too that I want to show.
You
It's
sure
a,
you sure you don't want to show it yourself?
You can show it. And I made a piece I want to show also.
Okay. We coming, Miss Regina.
I ain't no hurry. I ain't got nowhere to go.
Hold on.
Whew.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Gwen.
I made this a padded,
Ah,
and then the hole it's large because cause still the ways to paint. I made my dish deep, and then the holes is to hold the brushes up. So you got some-
Great. I like that.
Oh, that's an actual well?
That is
Yeah.
really nice.
That's
Hold
nice.
the
That's
base of my
nice.
paint, and then I made the hole to hold the brushes up. When I use my brushes, I can go back instead of washing them out. I know what color I use.
That's really nice. Put it down before it pops. Making me nervous.
Yeah, that's right.
You know
Okay,
what you can do? You know you can paint each well the color that you want. You know, you can paint one red, one yellow, one blue.
I'm gonna do the on each one in between. I'm gonna do the color wheel, and I do like different color paint, like black and white equal purple. I mean, black and white equal gray.
Yes.
And I'm gonna
Right.
do colors like that on there, my color wheel.
Okay, that would be nice.
Ah.
And don't forget, young people, I said that I was gonna give you copies of the color wheel so that you can fill them in yourself and learn about it. The next time that I see you all, I have those copies. I don't know why I haven't given them to you all, but I'll give you that. And Miss Gwendolyn Alexander and everybody else, if you're doing something like that, you always want to start with what 3 colors?
Okay. Oh, blue, yellow, and red.
Yes, thank you. Red, yellow, and blue. Those are the primary colors.
And I'm gonna put that on. I want to put that on. I'm just gonna put a strip of each paint and where to mix. What
Okay,
color
good,
come like
nice.
to be.
Yeah, I understand what you said. You're doing it in between the circle or on the circle?
Well, it'll be in between where the brushes go.
Okay, good
But
job.
I don't want to do it on the circle because in the middle where you mix your paint, when you have to mix paint.
Right. All right. Anyway, Miss Gwen said I could show her piece. Even if you want to show it later, you can. So this piece was for Communities of Strength.
The hand piece is a pottery. Is a put plants in.
I know, but was it for Communities of Strength?
Yes.
Because you got the hands together. Okay, this is Miss Gwen's Communities of Strength piece. This is the bottle.
Oh, what is wrong with this computer?
And this is the actual piece. You can see she has different hands that represent different cultures.
Coming together as a community.
Yep, and they're holding hands, or the community is shown by the calla lilies or the ground, you know, the earth.
That's nice.
And this is how the inside looks. Just trying to
That's
get it.
very
Oh,
nice.
wow. I
Very
like
nice.
it. That's nice.
Creative.
Nice.
Very
So
nice.
this is how she represented Communities of Strength, and I think it's a good representation. Y'all can do it. So good job. Good job.
Thank you. Kim, what's for lunch?
So today for lunch, they are having teriyaki and barbecue chicken wings.
Whew.
They are having hamburgers, veggie burgers, and some sides. I can't remember everything, and I deleted the menu off my phone. Anybody else out there know who I sent the menu to this week?
No fish?
No fish. We having barbecue and teriyaki wings, hamburgers, veggie burgers.
Oh, that's good. Veggie burger. That's good.
Yep.
That's what I eat, veggie burger.
Yep.
Here my
All right.
piece is, Kim.
Ma'am,
Here my paint is on the board.
what paint? Oh, okay, that's right. Good job. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we ready.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh, nice. I like
So
that.
that's, yeah, I did that one.
What did you do?
And I
Did
did,
you do a string pull?
I did it. First I put the black paint on there real thick. And then I took the beads and had me some little cups and poured my paint in my cup and put my beads down in my cup, got me some rubber gloves and make sure I measured my beads so they wouldn't be too long where I could pull them off. And then I laid them, made a design and laid them, then pulled them slow. It
You
took
did,
about a day, but
You did Mardi Gras beads. You did Mardi Gras beads.
yeah. I got them at Dollar Tree.
Okay. That looks really good.
And I did that. It took about 2 days for it to dry.
Yep.
So that's what I'm gonna put my faces on.
Can you
I love those pieces just by themselves. They look really good.
Really?
Yeah,
Can
that
she
turned
hold it
out
up?
good.
Can she hold it up again? Because my computer messed up.
I like picture. That's a picture, Regina. That's nice.
That's beautiful.
You did real good.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I love that. Tank came out perfect.
Yeah, it did. So I put my faces, my African, I did my African faces, my animals are gonna sit on there. So I'm deciding where to put some leaves around their heads on there, but I don't know. I'll wait and see first after I get them back and paint them.
That looks really good. I think
Thank you.
it goes with your theme of what you got too.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
so today we're having barbecue or teriyaki chicken wings, hamburgers, veggie burgers, baked beans, coleslaw or side salad, pies, cakes, canned soda or bottled water.
Thank you.
So that new cook might not be so bad, huh?
Yeah, and actually the food is much better. Yesterday we had fried chicken and baked chicken, and the fried chicken was so crispy. It was really, I mean, of course, y'all know I didn't eat none.
I was about to say, how did you know?
No, I served it. And
Yeah,
when
you
I,
always
when I
Kim
when I
always
handled
saying
it
that we don't know.
when I handled it with the tongs and everything, you could tell that it was really crispy.
I bet you did put that tongue around that chicken too.
No. Wow. That was so silly. Anybody else have anything to add, offer? All right.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Like you was talking about making the when you was talking about the other project we gonna be making, that air balloon.
Hot air balloon. Yes, ma'am.
I really want to make that.
I really want to make it too, because I've always been fascinated with hot air balloons. I always wanted to go up in one, except for when I got grown and started seeing some of the mistakes or when people crashing them things. But however, I think that's not it doesn't happen all the time, but they're so beautiful, all the different colors in the sky, that I said, if I make one, I would love to see it hang from a ceiling in my house, and then and put some lights around the actual balloon part. So, or right in the basket. I think that'd be so cute.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So we're gonna make those, and we're gonna make the bust. So I just want to encourage you all that I feel like everybody should make both projects. However, if you feel like you are more interested in making one over the other one first, just to get your energy fueled and pumped up, say like when we start on the bus, if you want to do the hot air balloon instead first, because that's the energy that you feel, or you feeling drawn to that, you can do the hot air balloon first, and then you still have to go back to the bus later. But since we're doing both of them, doing it all together, I guess everybody could focus and concentrate on the instructions that I'm giving them at one time. So just get your wig heads, and for the hot air balloon, you all don't need anything, because I have everything that you need for that.
All right.
But I can't buy everybody a wig head.
Pam, can you print out my bulls, please?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you.
All right. So once again, just since Miss Gloria Bell she emailed me 2 bulls, not to tell her business, but her birthday is right around Mother's Day, and she is a Taurus, the bull. And so I guess that's what she's gonna do, but she sent me 2 images to print out for her. I said to you all, if you need something printed out, anytime during the class, if you have some images that you look up online, you can send them to my email and I'll print them out for you. Miss Regina, you so silly.
Wait a minute, no. Look at her. She was sitting in the chair, and the man, he was finna tell her something. He peeked his head around there, and I was looking at her, and he saw everybody looking at him. I guess he jumped back behind that wall. That's what made me laugh.
That's Mr. Billy. Hey,
No,
Mr.
yeah.
Green.
He got on back there behind that wall.
Yeah, he probably didn't want to interrupt us. All right, don't forget if you all need copies of something, if you even have a coloring book or a copy, even if you have a portrait of somebody you want to bring here and get me to make a copy of, I will do it. And that's it. Again, next Thursday, we will not be having class on September the 9th. We will be having grandparents celebration. If you have a picture of your grandchildren with you, or you and your grandparents, or just a picture of your grandparents that you want to show during the event, please have those ready. Thank you so much for joining Kimberlie, Wright, and Hand-Built Pottery. I've had such a wonderful time with you today. Thank you for showing and sharing your works, and continue to be creative, young people. Love yourself so that you can love someone else, and be safe out there, and have a wonderful weekend. And Monday is Labor Day. We will be closed.
Thank you
so
much.
much.
All right. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Have a
Be
good
safe.
weekend.
Peace.
Bye bye. Love you guys.
And love.
Love you
Love ya.
guys.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.